Hi, I'm gonna read you my favorite poem written by Edgar Allan Poe. The name is The Raven. Once upon a midnight ready, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quiet and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some ungently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more." Distantly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrote its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books sources of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Leonore, for the red and radiant maiden, who the angels name Lenore, nameless here for evermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood, repeating, "'Tis some visitor entertaining entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entertaining entrance at my chamber door. This is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or Madame, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, as so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more." Step into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams not mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." "This," I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word "Lenore," merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within my burning. Soon I hear again a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in her step a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not an instant stop or stayed he, but, with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiled my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Thou thy crest be shorn and shaven thou," I said, "art so no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me why the lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore, for we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing birth above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculpture bust above his chamber door, which shall name us Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bough, spoke only that one word, that as his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hope had flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply to aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters it is only stock and store cut from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his son one burden bore, till the diggers of his hopes that melancholy burden him bore of nevermore." But the raven still beguiled all my sad soul into smiling. Straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of a bird, and buzzed and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to blinking, fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim ungainly ghastly gaunt and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom core. This and more I sat diving, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamp gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with a lamp gloating on her, she shall press at nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by angels whose faint footfalls tinkled into the fluttered floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, never. Prophet said, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by the heaven that bend above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden if, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a saint and maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.